Your brain has a survival mode, and it's more active than you imagine. Did you know that right at this moment, there's a system in your brain that's analyzing every sound around you, every shadow in your peripheral vision, and every change in your environment? Well, this system has a single mission: to keep you alive. And it's more active now than it has ever been in human history. That tightness in your chest when you see a work notification after hours. The tension that comes out of nowhere during a simple conversation. The insomnia that appears even when you should be tired. All of this are signs that your brain has activated what I call survival mode, a 50,000-year-old system trying to protect you from the dangers of 2025. The problem is that most people live in this state without even realizing it, and this is literally reshaping the structure of your brain. Today, you're going to discover how to identify when this happens, and more importantly, how to reprogram this system to work in your favor. To start getting out of this state, subscribe to the channel and pay close attention to everything I'm going to tell you now. I'm going to tell you a story that began thousands of years ago but is happening inside your head right now. Imagine your ancestor walking through the African savanna 50,000 years ago. The sun is setting, and he hears a branch breaking behind a bush. At this moment, his brain has exactly 200 milliseconds to make a decision that could mean the difference between life and death. There's no time for rational analysis, no time to ponder probabilities. Those who stopped to think, could it be the wind, became lion dinner. And that's how we developed the most efficient and fastest system in our brain, the limbic system. Think of it as the most sophisticated security system ever created, but installed in your brain. It operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, analyzing every sound, every movement, every change in the environment around you. At the center of this system is the amygdala, a small almond-shaped structure that acts like a hypersensitive smoke detector. It doesn't think, it reacts. When it identifies any sign of danger, it immediately triggers an alarm to the hypothalamus, which functions as your body's emergency operations command center. Within milliseconds, a cascade of hormones floods your bloodstream. Cortisol and adrenaline take over your system. Your heart races, your breathing becomes labored, your muscles tense up. You're ready to fight, flee, or hide. This is the famous survival mode activated. Now here's the problem, and I want you to really absorb this. Your 50,000-year-old brain is operating in a 2025 world, and it can't distinguish between a lion on the savannah and a notification from your boss at 10 p.m. To your limbic system, that important meeting on Monday is interpreted as a tribal confrontation. Heavy traffic becomes hostile territory where you need to be constantly vigilant. An argument on WhatsApp activates the same neural circuits that your ancestors used when they were attacked by predators. Stop for a moment and observe your own body now. How is your breathing? Are your shoulders tense? Do you feel some internal agitation even though you're safe watching this video? This is your survival mode in action. And before you think this is something bad, let me tell you something. This system brought us here. It's the reason why the human species survived and thrived. The problem isn't the system itself. The problem is that it's being constantly activated by threats that aren't real. Look, I know this might sound a bit scary at first, but stay calm. If you're recognizing yourself in what I'm talking about, do this. Leave a comment below telling me in which situations you most feel this survival mode active in your life. It could be at work, in traffic, in relationships. I really want to know about your experience because this helps me create even more specific content for you. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and click the button down there, because every week I bring content like this, based on neuroscience, for you to better understand how your mind works and optimize your life. Okay? Now let's continue. You need to understand that when your brain activates this survival mode, it literally hijacks your cognitive resources. The prefrontal cortex, which is your rational area, responsible for critical thinking, planning, and impulse control, becomes compromised. Have you ever noticed how difficult it is to think clearly when you're very stressed? How simple words disappear from your mind in the middle of an argument? How you make decisions that later you think, Why the hell did I do that? It's not lack of intelligence. It's your limbic system taking control. And here's the most disturbing part. Recent studies show that living in a constant state of alert is literally reshaping our brain. Chronic exposure to cortisol reduces hippocampus volume, impairs memory formation, and decreases learning capacity. It's like having a car with the engine always revved up in the garage. At first it seems to be working perfectly, but over time you're going to burn out the engine. And that's exactly what's happening to millions of people today. One of the videos here on the channel is called "Your Brain is Flooded with Cortisol. Learn how to stop it." Watch it later and you won't regret it. But now comes the good news, and I want you to pay special attention to this part. You can train your brain to distinguish between real threats and imaginary threats. You can reprogram this ancestral system to work in your favor in the modern world. The first strategy I want to teach you is what I call the circuit breaker, the neural circuit breaker. When you feel your heart racing, when you notice you're entering alert mode, you'll use the 4-7-8 breathing technique. Inhale counting to 4, hold your breath counting to 7, and exhale counting to 8. This isn't just a relaxation technique. It directly activates the vagus nerve, which is like a switch that turns on your parasympathetic nervous system, your body's rest and digest mode. It's like pressing the reset button on your alarm system. The second strategy is the magic question. Whenever you feel anxiety or stress, ask yourself, is there a real and immediate danger here? This simple question forces your prefrontal cortex to kick into action again. You're literally waking up the rational part of your brain. Is there a lion in the meeting room? Is your life really at risk because you missed a deadline? This question isn't to minimize your problems, it's to calibrate your emotional response to the real size of the situation. And the third strategy, perhaps the most powerful, is what I call controlled exposure training. You're going to expose your nervous system to small doses of controlled stress to teach your brain the difference between challenge and real threat. Intense physical exercise, cold showers, mindfulness practices. All these activities create a safe environment where your alarm system is activated, but you remain in control. It's like an emergency drill. The more you train in a safe environment, the more calibrated your system becomes for real situations. What happens is fascinating. Your brain begins to develop what neuroscientists call stress tolerance. Situations that previously activated your complete survival mode are now processed as manageable challenges. Remember, you don't want to eliminate this system. You want to educate it. It continues to be fundamental for your real safety. You just want it to stop screaming "danger" every time you receive an email or need to speak in public. Now you know the secret that most people don't know. You have a 50,000-year-old survival system operating in your brain, and it's not your enemy. In fact, it's what has kept our species alive until today. The problem was never the system. It was the lack of an instruction manual for the modern world, and you just received that manual. 3 powerful tools: the 4-7-8 breathing circuit breaker for crisis moments, the magic question to reactivate your rationality, and controlled exposure training to calibrate your alarm system. But here's the truth. Knowledge without action is just entertainment. I want you to choose one of these strategies now. Not all 3, just one. And practice it for the next 7 days. Observe when your survival mode activates. Be curious about your own reactions instead of judging them. Remember, you're reprogramming neural circuits that were formed over thousands of years. Be patient with yourself. Every time you use these techniques, you're literally creating new pathways in your brain. You're not a victim of your biology. You're its programmer. And now you have the tools to write better code. Tell me in the comments which strategy you're going to test first. In the next video, I'm going to talk about a way that will make your brain hyper-focused. See you then.